Hey sister, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Asia Simone. Back in my previous video at the end, I mentioned how important it is to know what your body shape is so that it can help inform how you are shopping, what you're putting in your closet, how you're styling your outfits. And so I figured before you even move on to any more shopping trips and adding anything else into your closet, let's take a pause and actually figure out what your body shape is. A lot of us just go out and buy things without really having how we're going to style it in mind or even how it's going to look on us. And for us curvy and big girls, shopping in store can be a little bit traumatizing. And so knowing what your body shape is and how to style it is going to be super important because it's actually one of the most misunderstood topics in fashion. And sometimes it can even be a bit frustrating. Most body shape advice online is either really simplified or outdated, or they just don't have curvier bodies in mind. So today I want to walk you through how to figure out what your body shape is in order to make getting dressed feel easier and not harder. And before we get into it, I just want to say that this is not about labeling yourself. This is more so about how to understand what your proportions are, and knowing what your proportions are is not only going to help you style your body, it's also going to help you do online shopping. If that sounds good to you so far, then please do consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so before we even talk about shapes, I want to clear something up. I need all of us to understand and know that your body shape has nothing to do with your weight, your number size, or quote, how curvy you are. Your body shape is about proportion. It's about how your shoulders, your waist, your bust, and your hips all relate to one another. And that's why you can have two people that wear the exact same size, but they have completely different body shapes to one another. And that's why copying outfits from someone who is your same size may not always work for you. Your body shape is going to explain why something might feel off in your outfit, why some silhouettes feel effortless for you, and why trends hit differently on different people. And so your body shape is information. It's not a judgment. And so as we go into these body shapes, I want you to think visually. We're going to ask yourself 3 questions. Where do my clothes usually feel tight? What part of my body do people notice first? What part of my body feels the most balanced when I get dressed? These answers are way more helpful than numbers on a sizing chart. So keep that in mind and let's get into these shapes. I'm going to walk you through some of the most common body shape categories, and I want you to listen for which sounds like your experience. So first up, we have our pear shaped girls. If you're pear shaped, then your waist and your thighs are more prominent than your shoulders or your bust. And so you might notice that your pants usually fit tighter than your tops, your dresses fit up top but kind of pull towards the bottom, and you often need to size up for your bottoms. This doesn't mean that you need to hide your hips, it just means that balance really matters. So for all my pear-shaped girlies, when you're styling yourself, I want you to add a little bit of visual weight up at the top. That can be structured shoulders, a little something interesting with the neckline, or even some bright colors on your top half. And on the bottom, we're going to keep it clean and polished. So some straight or wide leg pants, A-line skirts, and fabrics that kind of skim the body instead of cling to them. Next, we have our hourglass shaped girlies. Now, this is when your shoulders and your hips are relatively balanced and you have a defined waistline. A lot of people assume that hourglass automatically means that everything fits so easily. And that's not necessarily true. If you're an hourglass girly, you might struggle with having a waist gap in your pants. Dresses might fit one part but not the other. Clothes that technically fit but don't actually flatter. And the key for styling for you is going to be to honor your waistline instead of trying to force things. And so that means that prioritizing pieces that are designed to highlight curves. Any type of wrap styles, any stretch fabrics, and intentional waist definition. You're going to want to avoid stiff materials that do not honor your shape, and instead you want to opt for things that move with your body. Next up, we have our apple-shaped girlies. Now, apple shapes usually carry a little bit more fullness around their midsection, and sometimes that might lead to the appearance of slimmer legs and hips. Common struggles for the apple shapes are you might notice that your tops fit a little bit tighter on you than your bottoms, your waistline definition might feel a little bit tricky, and structured pieces feel a bit too restrictive. For styling for my apple shapes, I want you to know that this is not about covering your stomach. It's about creating ease and vertical lines. So you want to look for tops that skim the body, not cling onto them. I love to see my apple shapes in like drapery clothing. Chef's kiss. And get you some bottoms that actually show off those legs. You want open necklines, longer layers, and fabrics that have a little bit of fluidity to it so that it doesn't leave you so constricted, because that is just going to lead to discomfort. And we don't want that. Next up, we have our rectangles or straight shape girlies. And this is when your shoulders, your waist, and your hips are all pretty balanced and aligned. And if you're a rectangle shape, then common struggles that you might face is that your clothes do not feel like they give you any any shape. Everything to you looks flat, and for that reason, you're constantly trying to create curves. If you're a rectangle shape, I want you to shift your mindset because the goal here is really to create dimension, not forcing curves where they don't sit. So think about layering, texture, contrast. You're gonna get that from belts, structured outerwear, and intentional proportions. All of those things help create a little bit more visual interest, and it creates shape without overcomplicating things. And lastly, but definitely not least, we have our inverted triangle girls. And this is when visually your shoulders and your bust are way more prominent than your hips. Common struggles that you might face if you're an inverted triangle is that your jackets always kind of pull at the shoulders, tops fitting tighter than your bottoms, and usually your pants you don't really have too much of a struggle with. So for you, balance and visual weight matter the most here. Softer tops, deeper necklines, and simpler upper layers work well for your body shape. On the bottoms, I want you to focus on adding a bit more volume. Wide leg pants, pleated skirts, even some softer colors on the bottoms are going to help even everything out. So we went through all of the different types of body shapes that you can possibly be, but I want us to remember something extremely important. Most people, including myself, are a blend of these categories. You can be a pear leaning hourglass. You can be an apple with rectangle tendencies. You can be curvy in one area and straight in another. That's normal. Styling is going to work best for you when you focus on how the clothes fit your body and not so much on the label that you see. Hopefully by now you kind of have an idea of what body shape you might be leaning towards. And so now here's when knowing your body shape becomes way more useful, because now that you understand your proportions, you can now start to choose silhouettes that feel effortless. You can stop blaming yourself when certain trends don't work for you. And most importantly, we can start getting into those outfit formulas that are going to hit every single time. So instead of asking yourself, is this flattering? I want you to start asking yourself, does this work with my proportions? That shift alone is going to change how you get dressed every day. And something that I choose to personally live by and remember is that style is not about changing your body. It's about understanding it. I hope that this video was helpful for you, and I want to end by saying this. Sister, your body shape does not need fixing. It doesn't need to be disguised, doesn't determine your worth, and it does not determine whether or not you have style. The goal here is not perfection, it's ease. So again, if this video was helpful in understanding your body shape, then please do consider subscribing. On this channel, we talk about style in a way that is realistic, supportive, and actually useful. Because as a big and curvy girl, getting dressed should feel empowering, not confusing. Let me know down below what body shape you think you might be, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!